From the first time we met a Saiyan knowingly, we got the idea that Saiyans were supposed to be evil. They are strong, warrior-like tribes that's goal is to destroy populations of planets to sell them to the highest bidder. This gave the Saiyans a negative stigma, and any Saiyan outside of the main Saiyans from our show have been basically universally viewed as bad, just like how the Universe 6 Saiyans were thought of as evil Saiyans until they were able to explain themselves. Speaking of the Universe 6 Saiyans, they'll play a pretty big part in this video.
Let's start at the top. The truth is, you're not of this world, Kakkarot. You were born on a distant planet called Vegeta, home of the Saiyan race, the most powerful warriors in the universe. You are one of us. Huh? And as for your other question, my name's Raditz. I'm your brother. No way!
So this is just a discussion of kind of wondering, were the Saiyans supposed to be evil, or did some Saiyans corrupt the other Saiyans? The Saiyans, the Viking-like race where few are not evil, at least to start, or at least from the beginning of the history that we know. At first, the Saiyans were a warrior-like race, similar to that of our own human race. How we start off as hunter-gatherers and often warred with each other and killed on sight. And now that happens a lot less. The Saiyans have somewhat followed a similar path, warring with each other. As one day, Yamoshi, a righteous, pure-hearted Saiyan, would arrive and lead his squad in battle against the evil Saiyans. He would fail as he would die, as he would become the first Super Saiyan, but his spirit would move on. Eventually the Saiyans would move to the planet of the Hsvhrt, and after initially living in peace with them, they would go to war with them and defeat them, conquering the planet. With King Vegeta playing a huge role in this battle, the Saiyans would rename the planet Planet Vegeta. The Saiyans were recognized as admirable warriors and thus entered a partnership with Lord Frieza to take over other planets for him. Eventually, the Saiyans proved too great of warriors for the evil Emperor as he grew fear of their growth and a potential Super Saiyan. Also, Beerus told him to destroy the planet. So Frieza killed the Saiyans by destroying the planet when all the Saiyans were surrounding it. Barely any Saiyans survived, only the king's own son, Prince Vegeta, his top general Nappa, a low-class warrior Raditz, and his brother Kakkarot, who we now know as Son Goku. Now, Tarble is someone who should still be around, but we don't know much about him. Now, Goku hit his head, which calmed him down and turned him away from being what a Saiyan should be, right? But did this have to happen? No. Bardock showed compassion by the end of his life. Yamoshi was a righteous Saiyan. Vegeta converted to the righteous path. The bop on his head wasn't the only way that Saiyans become good. So what I'm saying is Goku still might have had a chance to become good, and it might not have been the bop on the head. The fact that some Saiyans are good and others are easily converted to be good either implies that they are evolving from their aggressive nature, or that Saiyans were brainwashed, stuck in their echo chambers to stay as aggressive barbarians. Now we only have a few examples of these good Saiyans from Universe 7, but when it comes to Universe 6...
Sorry, this may seem like a strange question, but are the two of you Saiyans? Huh? Well, yeah, how'd you know that?
I see. So there were Saiyans in your universe as well?
Still are. And I should know, because I am one.
You're kidding me!
You're a Saiyan too? No, tail. Did you cut it off or did someone else do it? What do you mean a tail?
Actually, the clothes you're wearing do look familiar. The Saiyans in our universe dressed that way in the old days before Frieza enslaved us.
Frieza, is that a person? Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard that name before.
Sounds like our history's different, like the two Earths. Let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. What's the name of the planet your Saiyans call home?
Planet Sadala, of course.
Planet Sadala? You're telling me that in your universe it still exists?
Yeah, you mean it doesn't in yours?
That's right. What we call our birth world was destroyed in a civil war. After its decimation, we conquered another planet and called it Vegeta.
Wait a minute, what do you mean you conquered it? Like you took it from another civilization?
Yes, that's what conquering means. Don't tell me you have a problem with that. Your Saiyans are warriors, are they not?
Well, yeah, we're warriors, but we don't take what doesn't belong to us. Other races hire us to fight injustice, not create it ourselves. Wow, your Saiyans sound like nice people. They're like totally different.
So Universe 6 is a universe full of Saiyans that are good, pure-hearted. Something happened different with either they were just not brainwashed anymore, they escaped the Ura echo chambers and then became good, or they just naturally evolved to become good. Just like they already did biological and power-wise. Universe 6 Saiyans are extremely powerful. It may have something to do with them absorbing their tails. Kappa was able to put up a massive fight against Vegeta, whom, remember, Vegeta's base power before even attaining godhood was extremely powerful alone due to an amazing amount of trials and tribulation. But once Vegeta attained godhood and trained heavily with Goku and Whis, and then Goku and him alone in the room with Spirit and Time for 3 years, his power should have been ungodly. But Kappa had to be a decent sizable portion of his power as he was able to put up a decent fight. Meaning, the Universe 6 Saiyans evolved to have higher power and potential, as maybe them losing the tail or potentially absorbing it into their body gave them an automatic power boost to their base and higher potential. This explains why the Saiyans never yet attained the Super Saiyan form that we know of. They were naturally too strong for their own good. But speaking of the Super Saiyan transformation, the Super Saiyan form provides more information to why the Saiyans never were meant to be evil. The Super Saiyan form was a special form. No ordinary Saiyan would achieve this. Multiple things are needed for it. A pure heart or S cells make it easier, and extremely high battle power. It is hard enough for Saiyans to get to this, and always fighting each other in an evil way would make it harder for them to attain such as high battle power. But when it comes to the science of evolution, this makes more sense that the Saiyans would take Super Saiyan as a next evolutionary step. And evolutionary-wise, if the Super Saiyan would make them stronger, faster, help them survive, that means that the people who would become Super Saiyans would be the ones more likely to survive. So what I'm saying is, how evolution works is there's a trait that a certain group of a species will get. It'll make them better than the other groups, and they will survive, and the other population will either die out or just become a lot more sparse. So what I'm saying is the Saiyans should naturally evolve to become good, because if you are good, you get the Super Saiyan form way easier. So eventually these rare pure-hearted Saiyans, with their new trait of being a Super Saiyan, would change the population. Slowly over time, the pure-hearted Saiyans would eventually become the majority, until it became even rare to see a Saiyan born evil or more aggressive. Now also what signifies the evolution of the Universe Saiyan to trend towards pure heart is them losing their tail. The tail signified and activated the Ozaru, a giant ape that had unbridled rage and was evil. It was a form of evil that the Saiyans would use to land a crushing blow on warring armies. The loss of this form could signify the loss of the evil side of these Saiyans as well. Now I have somewhat of an additional theory, placed entirely in headcanon, that the Saiyans will evolve into literal gods. Just look at the Universe 6 Saiyan. Imagine if Kaba had gone through the type of training that Goku and Vegeta did. Imagine how powerful it would be if he did the Super Saiyan God ritual. Now this is a spoiler for my fan manga that I'm creating, but some of you might remember that I will be starting my own Dragon Ball GT Redux manga, which is basically remastering GT, so it's after the events of Super. So it'll be like somewhat like GT, but with Super Saiyan Blue, a bunch of changes, Beerus, Gods of Destruction. So I took all of the original GT sagas, remastered them, and added 2 new sagas. One of these is called the All-Out War Saga. It is where the gods get really concerned with the power of the Saiyans. For example, Vegeta trains Kaba, and Kaba gets the god form. Except when Kaba gets the god form, he doesn't get nearly as much as a power boost as he should have, leaving the gods suspicious as to why it wasn't that way. And it really is that Kaba is a heavily evolved Saiyan who was already further evolved to become a natural god. So the god ritual didn't increase his power as much because he was already a part god. So the gods would become suspicious, use the time rings to go into the future to see what would happen, and they see the statues within the god realm, and the statues are of Saiyans. And they believe that the Saiyans had done this, they believe the Saiyans had taken over, so this leads to an all-out war as the gods and the universes fight for the extermination of all of the Saiyans. But this is just a headcanon theory and a plug for my future fan manga that I'm currently working on. Sorry, I delayed it. It was supposed to be out like a couple months ago, but I'm going to delay it for another few months at least, because I'm also working on another huge project that I cannot wait to get fully started on, because that could be absolutely amazing and career-changing. But anyways, personally, I believe Saiyans were never really meant to be evil. They were just at one point during their existence. But anyways, what do you guys think? What do you think about this discussion? I mean, I'm not claiming this as a theory, but it kind of works out that way, that Saiyans were trending to become good eventually because of the actual evolution of the Universe 6 Saiyans and the Super Saiyan trait of your pure heart. Oh, you can become Super Saiyan more easily, which means pure-hearted Saiyans, through natural selection, should become the majority. But anyways, guys, what do you think? Please do leave a like if you enjoyed, comment down below, subscribe, turn on notifications, join my Discord, and follow me on Twitter. Hope you guys all have an amazing day, and also check out these 2 videos if you have not yet. Peace out.
It's not hard to understand. Kakarot was sent to this world with a simple mission not long after he was born, to destroy every human being on the planet. What? We Saiyans may be a proud warrior race, but we're also businessmen. We scour the universe in search of planets with habitable environments, and then use our skills to eliminate the native life forms. Once cleared, the planets are then sold to any alien race that's